In this video, we will look at the power 0 in the base 10 system. So in the United States, we have something called a base 10 number system. And so because of that, you can use zeros in an interesting way. So let's say we have 700 divided by 70. What you can do is think of this as 7 divided by 7. And you kind of just ignore those zeros right now. So what's just 7 divided by 7? Well, anytime you divide a number by itself, it's 1. And so we have 2 zeros over here and 1 0 here. So this answer here, the number of zeros over here have to have the number of zeros here total. So there's 2 zeros here, 1 0 here, so then we need 1 0 here. So then you have 2 zeros. So 700 divided by 70 is 10. And you can always check that. So what's 70 times 10? Well, think of it as 7 times 1, and that's 7. And then bring over the 2 zeros that you ignored. So then that checks. Let's look at this next one. 5,000 divided by 5. So it looks intimidating, right? But you can think of this as 5 divided by 5. You can ignore those zeros for right now. What's 5 divided by 5? 1. And so we have 3 zeros over here, 1 here. So then your answer has to have how many zeros so that you have a total of 3 zeros on this side of the division symbol. So 1 0, how many zeros do you need to have a total of 3 zeros? 2. So you put 2 zeros here. So 5,000 divided by 50 is 100. And let's check that. What's 50 times 100? Well, think of it as 5 times 1, which is 5. And how many zeros do we have here? Total of 3. So let's put those 3 zeros right at the end here. 5,000. 5,000, so it checks. Now, let's switch this one up a little bit. 40,000 divided by 100. Again, we can think of this as 4 divided by 1. What's 4 divided by 1? Well, it's not 1 this time, because you're not dividing it by 4, you're dividing it by 1. So anytime you divide a number by 1, you get that same number. So 4 divided by 1 is 4. So now we have how many zeros over here? 1, 2, 3, 4. And how many here? 2. So we're going to need a total of how many zeros in our answer, so that we have the same number of zeros here and it combined here to equal a total number of 4. So 2 plus what is 4? 2. So you need 2 zeros here, and we can do our check. 100 times 400, because multiplication is the opposite of division. Think of it as 1 times 4, which is 4. You have 2 zeros here and another 2 zeros, so that's a total of 4 zeros that need to be in your answer. Put your 4 zeros, then count back 1, 2, 3, comma 40,000, 40,000. Now let's look at our next example. Power 0 also works with multiplication. Instead of thinking of this as 20 times 30, which seems really intimidating, simply think of it as 2 times 3. 2 times 3 is 6. How many zeros did we ignore, or kind of like go away? 2. So then you just bring those 2 zeros back. So then let's think of this. How would we do 60 times 400? Well, ignore those zeros and think of it as 6 times 4. What's 6 times 4? 24. So then how many zeros did we cross off? 3. How many zeros do we have to put back? 3. 1, 2, 3. Count 1, 2, 3. That's 24,000. Let's say we have 300 times 600. It's like, whoa. Let's cross off those zeros. Think of it as 3 times 6. What's 3 times 6? 18. How many zeros did we cross off? 4. So how many do we have to put at the end here? 4. You have to put them back. 1, 2, 3, 4. So then you have 1, 2, 3. Your answer is 180,000. Really big numbers here. And let's look at this. How do we do 5 times 200? Well, think of it as 5 times 2, which is 10. And now how many zeros do we have to put at the end? 2. Now, see how there's a 0 here from the 5 times 2? You still have to put the additional 2 zeros. So these 2 zeros still have to go at the end. So you put your 0 and your 0 here, and your answer is 1,000. And that's how you use the power 0 in the base 10 number system.